What's up, everybody? Mark Fleetwood here. Welcome back to the Daily Grind Trader. Today I'm going to do a price projection update for Ravencoin, and in the process we're going to take a look into Bitcoin just to see where the general market's going. So stay tuned. There could be some big moves for Ravencoin coming up. Stay tuned. I'll tell you all about them. Alright guys, first things first, let's get the obvious out of the way. I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. I enjoy doing technical analysis and sharing it publicly. So you guys know this spiel by now. You know what it is. I do not manage your money, you manage your own money, and you trade at your own risk. With that being said, if you like these videos, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. Comments are huge. I always try to reply and get back to anybody who has any type of comment, good, bad, or indifferent. I am open to criticism just as I am open to compliments. So thank you in either way. I just enjoy the engagement. So we're going to go into Bitcoin first and take a quick look into Bitcoin. And you see we've cleanly broken out of this downward wedge. This downward wedge is a clean break. And now we have actually got a break. It looks like, and this is on a daily chart, it looks like we've got a break of the larger downtrend resistance line that was from all the way back, when we topped at 64,000, came down, we hit it at 53, and that's where we rejected off, and we had this downward wedge. So this resistance now looks like we might clear this. Now I don't want to call it definite yet, like the candle is out of it, but this could easily be a false break. It could easily be a fake out, and we could come back down and retest. I think we would retest the 23.6 line. And again, take a look here, for the Fibonacci levels. This was our top of our most recent run up, and we started here at this bottom and ran to this top. This was our Fibonacci lines. We had that first drop, hit the 38.2, and then recovered to the 23.6, and it sat on that as a support for a couple of days before we had our secondary dip. This is about a week of support here, and then we dipped down to the 50% line. And look, when we broke out this channel, we broke out this falling wedge, we sat on the 236 again. These numbers aren't random. I can't tell you exactly why they work. I can't tell you if it's a psychological thing. I can't tell you why they work, and if it is just that everybody expects them to, therefore they do. Like if you're making your trades or you're making your calls based off these lines and 90% of other people are doing the same thing, they work, even if it's just a psychological thing. This 236 line was a area of support. It broke up, consolidated on it, and now we broke through this resistance. Now the next big resistance will be the 52.7 or 53K, right where our previous high for this range is. So once we break that high, if we break that high, then it's kind of off to the races at that point. It's kind of a big potential to go up and test a new all-time high. So with that being said, the Arun looks good. The MACD looks pretty good here, like it's still going up. It's kind of going parabolically up, so I wouldn't be surprised to see another kind of dip soon, but it could be up and then a retest back down to 50K even, and then a jam out. So if this holds this daily, and we have 3 more hours on this daily candle to hold above, I would expect the next day to either come down and touch this line or just kind of barely poke through it before jamming up. I would expect there to be a retest of this line. And if we take a look at the 4 hour, and the 4 hour, the line is not there. Because Binance is really good at doing that. Binance is really good at making lines disappear. But you can see, again, coming from my previous video, on that 4 hour, there was a big Bollinger Band squeeze here, and then it jammed out of that squeeze. So just from this squeeze point, the 10% gain here, just off of that squeeze. So again, something to watch out for, something to look at. You see these tight squeezes and it jams up, squeeze. Now again, you have to know the track of the market, because a squeeze when the market's coming down push its price down. It's not always up. You have to understand and know the flow of the market at that time. But on the 4 hour, the bears are just starting to come down. They're not, I mean, they're probably a few hours up before they touch bottom and potentially relaunch. So we could have some more upward momentum. We could crack this 53. If we crack 53, then I feel safe on Bitcoin definitely being in the uptrend and breaking that resistance. So we're going to look at Ravencoin now. The reason why we're here, Ravencoin. Ravencoin on the 4 hour chart. We have a nice ascending triangle that we made. So kind of a, call it a bull pennant. We draw our pennant line there. So this ascending triangle looks really good right now. We have the bulls or the bears are coming down and they've crossed under the 50% line, which typically means that they are weakening beyond the point of coming back. Typically, when it drops below 50, it won't jam back up. So it does happen. You know, there was one here where it jammed back up under 50, but typically once it crosses 50, it'll come all the way down. Now with that being said, the bulls start to shoot up a little bit and kind of late again. When they blow up, they should, once this hooks up and the bulls come up, they should have a nice long run. The MACD has been kind of flattening out. The RSI has been kind of flattening out here. Everything has been pretty flat in this consolidation, this sideways movement. So it lends itself to a bigger break. You know, the more you kind of go flat, and you can see this here, like you saw how flat we got here on the MACD, and we had a nice break. I mean, this uptrend was a 30% swing. You know, even if you stop at the daily candle stop, 26% here, and that's not a very long period of time. Now we're kind of flattened out again. The MACD is looking like it wants to cross back up. A little bit drunk there, but it definitely looks like it wants to cross back up. And if it does, it crosses back up, I think we get out of this ascending triangle, we'll break out, and I have the first target kind of matched here. The first target is going to be in this range here, around 12 and a quarter, 12 and a half cents. And that would be about an 8% gain on the first target. Yeah, roughly 8%. And the reason why I have this line here for the first target is because this was our most recent history support resistance line. This was a hard line of resistance that we hit multiple times once we came down. And prior to that, it was a support line here. So we crossed, you know, this was an area that we never really touched going straight up. Now we have a support here from it and a resistance here multiple times. So this first line is going to be our first major support resistance that we're going to have to hit and break through. After that, I'm believing that we're going to be probably in the range of about 14.75. I believe our next major range is going to be here. So for the short term, if I were to give an outlook for potential highs or lows for the day or the next 24-hour period, I think the next 24-hour high, we're going to be looking at about 12 and a quarter. If this just fakes us out and breaks down out of this, I would be looking to pick up a resistance or pick up a support at, we pick up support here at 1027. Excuse me. Yeah, I think this would be the next support line. If it breaks down and breaks under this, 1027 would be the next support line, or 1036, somewhere in that range. I don't see this breaking down though. I'm pretty confident this is breaking up, and we're starting to get a nice Bollinger squeeze out of this. That would also help to indicate, like, we had this big range here, and now we're squeezed down to this tiny little range here, just like we squeezed here right before we blew up this last time. So with that being said, guys, Ravencoin looks really strong right now. Breakout, I do believe, is imminent for the short term. Short term price outlook of about 12 and a quarter cents. But don't be surprised if it sits here, consolidates for a couple 4-hour candles, consolidates on this line, and then jams up closer to the 14-cent range. Our next big support resistance line. I didn't even really plan this all the way through because I didn't want to go beyond this, because I think this is the next 24 to 48 hour range is going to be sitting here. If this comes to fruition, I'll make another video to determine where the next line would be. But I'm going to say somewhere in the 14.5 cent range. So that being said, guys, that's the video. Like if you liked, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. And as always, until next time, peace.